All right, team, let's look at how we're gonna glue up our horizontal stabilizer as well as our tail / fuselage section. So let's get started here. Not like it's better. Maybe. That'll work there. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to start with this back piece here for the horizontal stabilizer, and we're going to give ourselves our mark right here. Trim that. Again, we're saving these little pieces here. All right, for our ends. A little bit of glue. A little bit goes a long way. As some of you probably already found that out for your wing, right? Just a little line of glue, that's plenty right there. Taking the piece that I'm putting down and I'm just gonna spread that out, right? So that is kind of a little paintbrush. Spreading that out. And I've left plenty of extra, so any squeeze out that I have is going to not glue my fin directly to my cardboard, but it'll just go over the edge. See if this piece is going to be long enough there. Perfect, that piece will be long enough to be able to have a little extra. You should need 3 pieces of these to complete both of these sections. So, use wisely and accordingly. All right, marking my cuts. Perfect. And then this cut here should match that angle there. And so I'm going to actually glue this piece down right here. Give myself that. Sometimes when you glue it down, it just makes everything a little bit easier. Trying to clean it all up. So there's this piece. And again, now on this, if you note, right, these pieces here on the ends, you want to get a good amount of glue, right, on this end here. I'm going to be pushing that down, so I'm going to put it down so it's not quite touching, right, and then I'm going to push it into place. So there'll be a gap there, and then as I push that into place, right, I'm getting a good solid, you can see I got a little squeeze out right there, right? So I'm getting a really nice adhesion with that glue, and it's not gonna go anywhere, which is really important when we glue this up. So I'm gonna give myself my last vertical mark, right? Test fit that before I glue it. Perfect. Give that a little bit of that same. Now this one, because I'm going to have pieces on both sides, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I'm going to want to stack both of my ends with some wood glue, so as everything comes together, right, I'm gonna have some really good glue in those joints. All right, now I'm gonna take a little spare piece of this, right, give this all a quick scrape down, a quick cleanup. That's looking great. Now I have my little spare piece from my longer one, and I'm gonna come in here, set that in, and give myself my mark in this one, right? I got that little V I gotta cut in, so I'm gonna cut one direction, right? And then come back and cut the second direction. So I end up with a little V notch in there. Fit that in. Okay, so that's a little, just a hair too long. So I'm not gonna cut my V, I'm gonna actually trim off the back end. Just a little sliver off of that to give myself that nice fit right there. And then I'm gonna glue that in. Again, pushing everything out. Want to stack both those ends, so I got glue on both of my ends there. So as I go and I push this in and down, I'm gonna have some, I want to have some glue that pushes out on the ends there. Take my little scrap piece here for my cleanup. And it might be a good idea with any excess glue that you have here, go ahead and you can kind of reinforce all of these joints, right? And I'm gonna do that with all my joints here, especially this top one where I got 3 things all coming together. Make sure you got some good, nice adhesion. And that's how your horizontal stabilizer will look. So now, gluing up your tail, all right? First thing you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to get an X-Acto knife. Obviously make sure you have your safety glasses on. They're on, see? And the first thing we are gonna do with this X-Acto knife, all right? As you can see, there's a line here that says A, B. You are going to cut through the paper right along that line. That's all you need to do on that. You're not cutting all the way through the cardboard, right? You're not cutting through the whole thing. You're just making one cut from A to B. All right, as we glue our tail section down, right? And we're gonna line everything. We're gonna be gluing this tail section down, and that's actually gonna be coming off of our plane here. So you can see here on the plane, right? We're gonna be gluing this section here, and then right here is where we're cutting that line from A to B. So this section is all coming off, everything in front, okay? So we have our line A to B. We're taking our fuselage. Note, it does taper here, right? So I am going to take myself and give myself an arrow, right? So I know this side's going up, and I'm gonna draw another little line right here where those arrows are gonna be touching. So I know when I go to glue up, both those arrows are gonna be touching right next to A to B, okay? So it'll look something like that. There are my 2 little arrows. So I can start gluing this down. Now, this part here, you wanna try your best, all right? I know it's not always easy. Try your best to not get glue into that little gap, because if you put a bunch of glue in there, what's gonna happen? Well, it's gonna seep through. You're gonna end up gluing your fuselage stick here down to your cardboard. So you wanna make sure you get it really pretty darn close, and try not to get glue in that gap if you can. If you get some in there, that's okay too, right? We'll just have to adapt and overcome. All right, so there's that piece. I'm gonna take this little piece of scrap here. I'm just gonna clean everything up on my fuselage while I have that down. Okay, so now all I have to do is that all set. Let's take my last stick here. Now this is a little tricky because the fuselage stick and the sticks that you are using to glue down, they are at 2 different thicknesses, all right? But that's okay. That's perfectly okay because I'll show you how we're gonna work with that. So I got this piece right here that is nice and done. A little bit of glue. All right. All right, that piece is in. There's my little cleanup scrap. So, and I got my last piece to cut. Sometimes you get lucky. This time I don't think I am. Where these angles, oh, this angle, it will kind of work. But I got the extra, so I'm gonna just cut a fresh angle on this one. Get that vertical. All right. Now, there's that mark. There's this mark here. Gotta cut a little bit more off. Just about there. Again, take your time. If you haven't heard me say it yet, slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right? This isn't a race. Take your time, do it right. Again, pushing in to that wood to make sure I got really good amount of glue on the ends there, so where that wood is coming together in that joint, I'm getting really good adhesion. Now I got quite a bit of glue on this, but that's okay, right? Come in, just clean everything up, all right? And also when you come in and with this glue and you clean everything up, it also pushes any excess. If you're missing a little spot that doesn't have glue, it'll push any excess glue right into that little spot, right? So I got some extra on there, which is just fine. I'm gonna get everything nice and good on there. All right, now, that right there is how your tail glue up should work. Now, if your cardboard isn't quite straight or something on one of these and you need a little extra help, this masking tape is perfect, especially on this joint here where this is 2 different pieces or 2 different thicknesses. You can come and tape that joint down just like that, all right, to keep that joint held together if you're getting some separation. And that masking tape is meant to be able to peel right back off of there. That's why we're using masking tape and not like duct tape or something else. So that's actually designed to come back off. So there's your glue up for your tail and for your horizontal stabilizer, or excuse me, yes, no, I said that right. Your tail and your horizontal stabilizer, incorporating that into your fuselage and everything. So keep moving on to the next video. Once that dries up, make sure everything's nice and dry. Keep on keeping on.